I wanted to serve my country. After what I saw in 9/11, and I was watching in the news the invasion of the Marines in Fallujah, and I said I should be doing that. So I joined the Marine Corps. Before 2010, I deployed Iraq 3 different times, and those were 3 combat deployments with 1st Battalion and 2nd Marines. In 2010, now I'm married. I have a family. Nairobi was 4 years old, and my youngest one was a couple months. May 16, 2010. I was getting ready to go on a foot patrol, group of 19 Marines. We ended the mission, we're ready to go. And when I was walking, I stepped on an IED.
It was before the Father's Day and before our anniversary. I was on my way to the postal office to send my care package, and then somebody called me, and they just asked me, "Are you Mrs. Evans?" And at that moment, I know something wrong happened to Carlos, but I thought he was already dead.
Heard a big explosion. That's how I know I stepped on it. Both my legs got blown up. My left arm got blown up too. I started losing so much blood. I had 9 tourniquets in my body. I had 4 here, and one here. At that time, I wanted to die because I was going through so much pain. The Marine that was with me, he kept asking me, what's your wife's name? And I told him, Rosemary. What are your daughter's name? I'm like, Nairobi, Genesis. He's like, you're gonna go home to them. You're not gonna die here today. And that's the last thing I remember. I think 6 days passed by and I woke up in Bethesda, Washington, D.C. hospital. I opened my eyes and I saw my wife right next to me. But it didn't sink in what actually happened to me after I left the hospital. That's when I really had to adjust to life. I was struggling with a body that I didn't want. There were days that I wanted to die. I woke up every day and I'm like, how can I die? And I had a lot of mood swings because I was taking a lot of medication. Some days I was in my room all day crying. I was thanking God because I was alive. But at the same time, I was mad because I didn't understand why, if I'm a Christian, this could happen to me. Why I'm going through so much pain. Where are you, God?
My mostly prayer all the time, it was, God, give me the wisdom to make the right decisions or say the right words to him or encourage him and encourage my family, keep them together because I don't want to lose them. I don't want to lose my family through this situation.
I think 3 months after my injury, I go to the living room and I see my wife and I'm getting ready to tell her, I'm like, you know what? You should just continue with your life and I'll continue with mine. I'll just stay here because you don't deserve this. And she just looks at me, right, straight in the eyes. And she just tells me, I prayed to God to bring you back home alive. And you are here alive. You are my husband. And I love you for who you are. I am not a widow. And your daughters are not orphans. You are their father. She tells me, I love you for who you are. And I was like, no, you can't love me for who I am. Look at all my wounds in my body. And she tells me, it's the difference between you and me. I don't see your wounds, I only see your scars. And the scars are the evidence of who healed your wounds. And that is Jesus. And he's the center of our life. And we're gonna make it through. That same week, my wife told me, and we're gonna go to church this week. I haven't been to my church like six or 7 months. I had this moment by myself in the church. And I was like, you know what, Lord, I just don't know how to do this. I don't know how to live this way. There in my heart and my mind, there comes scripture. You can do all things through Christ that strengthens you. And I'm like, Lord, I have so much pain in my body. I have all these wounds. And right there, I look at the cross and I see Jesus. And I see his wounds, that he was wounded so I could be healed. And that was a big breakthrough in my life.
He was more positive. He was like more focused and more determined to change.
I started not focusing on what I don't have and focusing on the things that I have. And I started enjoying my life. Waking up with a smile and finding God's purpose behind all this. That God could use our scars to heal others. We speak to a lot of wounded veterans like myself. There's a lot of people out there that are going through a lot and they want to give up. And they need to see an example. So we share our lives with them.
Not everybody have a husband that lost both legs, but everybody have hard time. On my part, what I could say is ask God for wisdom. The only right decisions come from Him.
When God looks at you, He doesn't look at you as a victim, as crippled, sick. God looks at you as His son and as a conqueror. And when you look at yourself through that mirror, whatever looks impossible, it becomes possible. So I looked at this experience, I'm like, wow, this is a blessing in disguise because we have grown so much from it. I'm a better father, I'm a better husband, I'm a better person. And we're touching a lot of people through God's grace. So I don't regret it. If I have to go through it all over again, we'll do it the same way.